everyone, and welcome back to the Girl Got Faith channel. My name is Emma, and today I want to talk to you about owning your story. Now, I remember the first time that somebody ever asked me to share my testimony. I said, oh, I don't have a testimony. I didn't have one of those because I'd grown up in church my whole life, and I had seen people on the stages and on platforms at events and all this kind of stuff talking about these incredible testimonies, these incredible stories that they had of how God came and met them, maybe in prison, or they were on the top of a mountain and an angel of the Lord appeared to them, and they just had these amazing stories, these amazing testimonies. But I didn't have one of those. You see, I grew up in church. I would go there with my mum, my dad, my two sisters. Life was pretty straightforward. I became a Christian on my bed at the age of 7, and that was my story. That was my journey, really, of coming to faith. I never had this huge turnaround moment. It wasn't like there was much for me to turn away from at the age of 7. So I just thought, well, I don't have a testimony, because I thought it had to be one of those big, bold, incredible, dramatic stories. But actually, when I thought about it more, I realized that a testimony is simply your truth. A testimony is your journey, the journey of your relationship with God, whatever that might look like for you. So I realized that my testimony is actually one of God walking with me through every age and stage and hairstyle and relationship and breakup and every season of my life. God has been a faithful friend, a loving father. That is my testimony. That is my relationship with God. That is what I've known to be true. I know that God is trustworthy. I know that God has got good plans for my life. And so that is the story that I can share. So I wanted to encourage you today that if you feel like maybe you don't have a story, maybe your testimony is too boring, or maybe even your testimony is too dramatic, or you think it's too deep or too much, or whatever it might be, there is power in you sharing that truth, and there is power in you talking about the relationship that you've got with God and what God has done in your life. However small it may seem, however big it may seem, your story is one that is worth sharing. You see, I grew up in church, like often hearing stories of these either really dramatic stories, or hearing stories of people who had, I don't know, like everything was just perfect. It seemed like their lives were brilliant and there was never anything that was going wrong. And maybe they were just missing out a few of the realistic details of their lives. But it meant that actually when I faced hurdles and difficulties in my life, I thought, well, this isn't the way that it's meant to be. Their life is so perfect, they've got no struggles, no problems, so why am I finding everything so difficult? So actually sharing the truth of our story, maybe sharing some of the little mistakes, the little mishaps along the way, can be really powerful for people. But it's important that we're wise with our story, we're wise with who we tell. Not every detail is for everyone, not everything is for a video or the big stage, but actually sometimes it might just be that you share your story with a friend who really needs some encouragement, or a family member who wants to understand the change that has taken place in your life, or how you have that deep trust in the person of Jesus. Whatever it might be, whatever situation that you're in, there's an opportunity for you to share your story. And we don't always share our story through words either. Sometimes we share our story through the way that we live. If God has shown grace in your life and that is your story, then show grace to others when you're in a queue, when you're waiting for something at school, when you're waiting for the bus, or someone's annoying you, or whatever it might be. There's opportunities for us to be sharing our stories every single day. So it's important that you know your story. Maybe you've never even thought that much about your story. There's a really great video on our Girl Got Faith channel by Yasmin, and she's sharing her story, and that's a great video that you can watch to be inspired and understand a bit more about what the structure of your story could look like, or how it looks to tell your story. Or if you've got a copy of Discovering You, on page 102, let me find it. There's a really good testimony template, but it's actually also been written by Yasmin. But this testimony template just helps you pick out some of the key points of your story so far, and it's Like, how did you first hear about Jesus? How did that make you feel? What challenges have you had to face in your faith? What is your life like with Jesus? There's some really good questions in there that will help you to just form your story and know it a bit better so that you can start living it out, you can start sharing it. Because yeah, I just really want to encourage you that your story has value, your story has purpose. Let's be bold, let's be brave, let's share our stories, whatever they may be. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!